What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Ronda here, and I'm back with another video. So this article is going to be quite interesting if you ask me. Now, this one seems like it's more of a game if you ask me, because this article is going to be focused on, I guess Zelensky said that Trump gave Russia and Ukraine a deadline. If you guys don't know who Zelensky is, he is the president of Ukraine, to have the war ended. Now, there's been so many peace deals that was supposed to go on, all in the U.S., all across in Europe, against Russia and Ukraine since the war started. Well, now every time they do a deal or try to come up with a deal, the war still continues. And it seemed like before Zelensky, let's say he have to travel out, let's say he come over here to do a meeting or something like that to try to make a deal, Russia always make it their place to strike Ukraine after he leaves or shortly before he leaves or when he knows talks is going to happen. Same with the Russian leader, Putin. Before he knows he's finna go do talks, he strikes Ukraine. It's like he wants to target Ukraine for some reason. I guess he just want Ukraine for himself, because this war been going on since February of 2022. Now lately he's been ramping up attacks on Ukraine, especially going after their energy and their civilians even more, as if he wasn't already going after their civilians. Sorry about that. But if you think of it, he started a war in February, so I'm pretty sure he's doing this on purpose just to, get under their skin, even though we know that NATO been helping Ukraine on and off, or been still, they probably still helping Ukraine. The United States been helping Ukraine, sent fighter jets and, some missiles and stuff over there. Russia made so many threats against the United States, but as we see, nothing happened. But you don't want to take that as nothing ain't gonna happen just because you don't know what the Russian leader has in his head. He's probably giving us multiple warnings. They say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, but then he don't, but then just eventually just lash out. Or he just want a bigger problem. Let's say Zelensky, he wants Zelensky, well, to seem like he's gonna win the war. He wants NATO to think they're gonna win the war against Russia, all that. Just for him to turn around and do something drastic to Ukraine, or invade another European country. Let's say go after Poland, or let's say go after Germany, or Finland, or Norway, one of those countries. Now, we know we have our own situations here in the United States, especially with the talks about going after Greenland. If I'm not mistaken, Greenland said they choose Denmark over the United States because they do not want the United States government running their country, which I don't blame them, because our government nowadays is just jacked up. So many issues, so many situations, especially going on with federal agents, a lot of fights and stuff breaking out at protesters because this person believes this person believes that. So if you ask me, ever since 2020, America really been going down. So I think it's about time to get into this article that I found now. Multiple sources like Fox, I think CNN, Reuters. This one I'm pulling from is Associated Press. And so a lot of, known news channels is reporting on this article. Now, again, I think this is all just a game, because every time we do a peace deal, it never works out. The war still continues over and over and over. Seems like a joke for a lot of these countries. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this article. So this article is being reported by Associated Press. I already had said that Fox, I think CNN and Reuters also have it, and probably a few other sources. So this say, U.S. gave Ukraine and Russia a June deadline to reach agreement to end war, Zelensky says. This is the Ukrainian president, Vladimir Zelensky. So we go down here and it says that the U.S. has given Ukraine and Russia a June deadline to reach a deal to end the nearly 4-year war, President Vladimir Zelensky told reporters, as Russian strikes on energy infrastructure forced nuclear power plants to cut output on Saturday. If the June deadline is not met, the Trump administration will likely put pressure on both sides to meet it, he added. The Americans are proposing the parties in the war by the beginning of this summer and will probably put pressure on the parties precisely according to this schedule, Zelensky said. Speaking to reporters on Friday, Zelensky comments were embargoed until Saturday morning. And they say that they want to do everything by June, and they would do everything to end the war, and they want a clear schedule of all events, he said. He said the U.S. proposed holding the next round of trilateral talks next week in their country for the first time, likely in Miami, Zelensky said. We confirmed our participation, he added. Is there anything else? Yes. Zelensky and Russia presented the U.S. with a $12 trillion economic proposal, which he dubbed the Dmitry package. I probably said that wrong, but I think it's Dmitriev After Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev bilateral economic deals with the U.S. form part of the broader negotiation process. Now, I could be wrong here, but don't get you guys' hopes up. I'm not going to get my hopes up that this war is going to end. It's probably going to most likely continue just for the fact that, again, every time we do a peace deal, there's supposed to be a peace deal or something, Russia takes it as their place to strike Ukraine. Before, during, or after the meeting, even when there's supposed to be a ceasefire, Russia always has to find an excuse why they have to strike Ukraine, blame Ukraine for something. So I'm pretty sure no matter if this peace deal, they do this meeting, if it get canceled, what? If they do this meeting, most likely the war is going to still continue. There's going to be no deal met. And it's just going on and on and on. Now, we know we having our issues with Iran. We all know Russia and Iran go hand in hand. We know the situation with Venezuela within their president Nicolas Maduro and his wife that was captured by us Americans earlier in January. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was the first weekend of January. The United States did a massive airstrike on Venezuela, went in, captured their president and his wife, flew him out to, I think, New York, and he was charged for some bunch of stuff. Can't remember off the top of my head, but then we had issues with that. Again, we have our own issues here with ICE, how they treating people. We know the situation about the federal agents that killed Renee. I think it was in Minneapolis. We know that those protests are still going on. It caused a lot of problems. We know the situation coming out of Los Angeles. Now, I'm just going to handle this real quick. The Super Bowl is tomorrow, Sunday. There's a performer, Bad Bunny, that's performing. Now, there's something seems kind of off about this. I could be wrong. I could seriously be wrong. But don't be surprised if there's a situation with him and federal agents. Because we know Bad Bunny, I don't think he's American. I think he's Hispanic. Now, the situation with this, that we know California has been having problems with ICE and stuff like that, especially in LA. California's not liking ICE. We know the protests and how it got violent and stuff, especially when they first started it. It's funny how the Super Bowl is taking place in California. It could take place anywhere. We know ICE is everywhere. It's probably not being reported, but ICE is everywhere. But in California, he's performing. We know his nationality. We know some people is already not liking this. So if you just think of this, this kind of seems like a setup. I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bad Bunny and federal agents kind of have, an issue either during, before, or a few days or a few weeks after. Because most likely somebody might be watching him, like a federal agent, somebody might be watching him and he might, be questioned or might get deported. We know that how these situations go, especially how America already been going with how ICE been treating, other people, which is most likely going to cause more problems here in the United States, as it already have problems. So that's just something you guys are going to have to watch out for. If you go to the Super Bowl, be very vigilant because, there might be some fights and stuff break out. You just never know what could happen, especially how we have so many issues with different countries like North Korea, China, let's see, Iran. We know we have issues with Russia. We have a bunch of issues, and you just don't know who's in the crowd. Yes, they're going to have heightened security there, but, I mean, you can only do so much. So it just takes that one person just to lash out, not liking America. It could be our own citizens here. It could be a foreigner. You just never know. Now, you also gonna have to watch out. It don't have to be nothing like drastic, like people getting hurt or something, but people can get sick. Now, we know the virus that's going around, especially in Asia. I think India is having cases and stuff like that. It's not hard for somebody to, make something and, release it. We know that was an issue. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yes, I am in a different sweater because my parents had to go somewhere, so I kind of could not wait. I was already on a time crunch. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys to the next one if it's God's will. Stay warm out there if you guys are getting extremely cold weather, especially for you folks that live up there in the northeast, and as well as you guys that's down south to here in the southeast. I know it's pretty cold. We're going to have a warm up though into the 60s, almost 70s. So I think it was like for like one day though, and then we go back down to 50s, 40s, and potentially high 30s. So with that being said, make sure you guys stay vigilant. Be careful if you're traveling to see the Super Bowl and stuff like that, or partying in general, or going to gatherings or something like that this weekend. So with that being said, it's your boy Ronnie right here. Just want to bring that to your attention. Out.